Hello, and welcome to the Fostering and Adoption Podcast with Nikki and Larry. I'm Nikki.
And I'm Larry.
That's my husband. And I just wanted to say that. So, got that out the way. Welcome back. We're so excited you all are here. This is Series 3. We're hearing from all those who were, some of those who were on the journey with us. Last episode, you were able to hear from one of our bio children. This episode, you're going to hear from a family member, my sister, Nichelle. Welcome, Nichelle.
Hey.
Hey. And welcome here because this is the time that Nichelle's going to tell you what it's like on that other side. So from your family members who are there to support you, how are they feeling? How did they feel about you doing what you're doing or what you did? So tune in and let's get started with Nichelle to hear her side. Okay, Nichelle, so we're going to take you back from the beginning. We're back. Everyone's with us. And let me tell you about our audience, our family, okay? This is a family full of fostering parents, adopting parents, parents who have probably been a foster or adopted themselves. And we do have some children watching as well, okay?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. So, see, is she ready before I even asked her? So she's ready. Okay, so let's get started. Nichelle, what was your initial thought process when we told you we wanted to foster?
The initial?
Yes.
Okay. Well, little backstory that was been there before is that we're always a family that helps. So really and truly for you to say, hey, we're going to have some kids permanent. Main thing I said, are we going to have boys or girls? Because we are a boy family.
True.
That's true.
Yeah.
So were you shocked that we were going to foster?
No, because I knew it was going to be you instead of me. So
wait a minute. Hold on.
You already had all the kids. There's no problem.
Baby, what does that mean?
Because you always have more kids. I only had 2.
Okay.
You had 3.
I had 3.
The bios, that was a family of 5. So long as you have more kids, it's no problem.
Okay, so do you remember when we started fostering? Let's go there.
Okay, the term fostering or when you would just bring kids home from school? Which one?
Okay.
You always had the open door policy.
Well, we did. So let's go with either one. I mean, what did you think when we first brought in someone that wasn't related to us and we kept them in the house to take care of them?
Well, the thing about it is that you and Larry have always been open, so you always had kids in. So really and truly, it was nothing out of the ordinary. Okay. It wasn't nothing shocking or whatever. You know, I'm a big auntie.
Right.
Yeah,
You are auntie.
That's true.
Just show up.
To everybody.
Everybody.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
No matter how long they came, how short they were here, whatever. They even came from a night. They're friends. That's my auntie. So it was no difference.
Right. Now, let me see. And in front of me, I have a lot of questions because I want to make sure that we help our audience.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to make sure that it's some questions that our parents have always wanted to know as well. Okay. So I have a couple things that I'm going to, ask you that you might think, why are you asking me that? It's for them.
Right.
Okay.
I got you.
All right. So for those that's listening, how would you describe your role in our fostering journey?
Well, my role as being that support is actually the word what it means, support, being supportive there, meaning that support is a person that shows up and then when you call them. It doesn't always mean come in and redo something. It's just meaning listening, being a voice. Mm-hmm. And if it's a shoulder to cry on or if it's somebody just to scream at, hey, call me, I'm there. But it's actually being their support no matter what. You got 10 toes in.
Right.
Okay. Well, with that being said, when people say support system, it can mean a lot of different things, right? So what did that look like on a day-to-day basis, supporting us as we went through our journey?
The same thing is learning how to read the room.
That's important.
Wow.
That is so important.
That must be something y'all say in y'all family.
Yes, you have to learn how to. That was my daddy's biggest thing, you all. I mean, walk into a room, read the room first, And then you figure out what is your role in that room. What are you supposed to be saying? What are you supposed to be doing? What's appropriate? And my dad was really big on, common sense, just not common. He taught us that along,
Yeah.
at an early
That's true.
age.
That's very true.
Common sense is not common. So you go in and you read the room to figure out how you should, adjust yourself or how you should approach any situation. And then you proceed on.
Yeah.
Right.
So I love that you said that because it reminded me of our dad, first of all,
Yes.
and how we were rooted.
Yeah.
True.
And it's like to read the room. Somebody can call you in a panic and stuff, but then by the time you get there, you're driving over there to that destination. By the time you get there, it still might not be a panic.
Right.
So that's why you read the room. So being there and being supportive to that person is just a fact of coming in sometimes standing. You have to wait before you
Right.
react.
Right. That's true.
Now let's think of that coming in standing. I'm just going to talk about our last 7 that came
Woo.
in. Tell me
Oh,
about
boy.
that experience when you first walked in. Now, today you super ain't and it didn't take long for you to become, put your wings on and start flying with them.
Yes.
But that first day, that initial process, and I know we talked about, okay, some kids are going to come in, from the system. Hey, Michelle, I got the call. It's going to be 3 coming in. Okay, what do you want me to do? What do you need me to do? Come and, I knew we were going to have to do paperwork. We didn't
Right.
know the extent of it, but we planned that while we're doing paperwork, you would do puzzles or something with them. But it doesn't always go the way you plan because they came a whole lot later and early in the morning
Right.
from what we expected. We were thinking we planned for during the day. Well, we got to call at 3 a.m. or so.
Right.
They came by 7 a.m. So you were still
Yeah.
en route over here. So when you got here, do you recall? I know it's been a while now, but do you recall their demeanor or what was going on or how our demeanor was?
Right. Well, at first, with any child that's coming in, of course, you're building that relationship, so you
Right.
welcome them. So, again, going back to read their room, I have to see where they are. They might want to talk. They might not want to talk. With kids and stuff, you try to find something that you can relate to them on. Okay, I'm the one, I like to laugh. I like to play games. I like to have fun. So our biggest deal in the morning stuff, they're getting up, they need to get breakfast, what they want to do. So mainly just calming. But after that calm period was over, they say, okay, well, she's okay. She's going to ask the questions. She's going to talk like this. This is like, okay, I'm looking at what we need to go play with. What
Right.
toys can we bring out?
Right.
Right.
They're boys. Hey, go get some action figures.
Right.
Go play some games with them and stuff like that. So really and truly, just getting to know them. And with doing that it made them more warm. It's like, okay, when I see her, we can go to my room and play. I don't have to sit
Right.
here in the living room or anything like that. We can go play. And that was important to me, just to make sure that I'm able to do that for them.
Okay.
So just make them feel comfortable.
Okay. Well, with that being said, what were some of the moments that you maybe observed where you said to yourself, you know what, they look like they could use my help right now, without us necessarily asking for it or whatever.
Yeah. Anytime I came over, because the boys, they want to get out. And then the girls came and stuff like that with all the 7 and stuff. So with the boys, I always went outside.
That's a true.
So
that's
it's
true.
like, okay, it's sunny outside. Let's go outside. So
Right.
if y'all did whatever, half the time I told y'all stay here, and then I got thinking because it was the kids. So we went outside, played basketball, had fun and stuff like that. So that's the way I utilize my time.
Okay.
Right.
And it's just the fact of coming. It's not a fact you had to come and say come over. I just came.
True.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
And it's good that you use playing in the outside as a diversion. And we're hearing that a lot, with our children, especially when you have a large group.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back to initial because our family on here really need to hear some meat of how can I adjust, because it's not always where you can walk in and say, let's go play, and they want to go play. So I'm going to go back to that initial because I want to, trigger your memory and see when you first came in and we first got even the first 3. And we were sitting in the table because after we finished paperwork, we took them to the table. They were sitting down. Do you recall their demeanor at all?
They were quiet.
Okay, that's what I'm getting to.
They were quiet.
They-
So I couldn't come in a loud voice.
Mm-hmm.
I sat down next beside them. I
Right.
met them where they were.
Okay.
Okay, that's a good. That's good.
And-
That's good.
You have to meet them where they are. So if they're sitting down and they're quiet, if you have a little piece of paper or something, write high on it. See how they respond back to you.
Right, and these are all good strategies.
Right.
But see, we real on this show. So
Yeah.
we're going to get
It
real.
don't
Those are
work.
wonderful strategies. Nichelle is an educator. Nichelle knows how to work with kids. But when those doors open and the kids come in and you close it behind the caseworker, it's real. You don't have time to go read chapter 7 on page 31. So when you came in and the boys were just sitting there looking at you and you were looking at them, and you said they were quiet. They were beyond quiet. They were silent.
Right.
They would not talk.
Nope.
So Nichelle sat down next to them at the table. I'm still running around the table trying to talk to them, asking them, do you want some water? Do you want this? Do you want that? What was their response to me? Do you recall?
They weren't even talking to you.
At all.
They didn't talk.
They were staring at me.
Right.
That's it.
I mean, so then I'm like, Larry, you ask him. So Larry, what did
Yeah.
you do?
I asked them.
Do you want some water? What did they say to you?
Nothing.
Nothing. So here I am. I'm the smart one in the room. Nichelle, you asked them. So Nichelle asked them, and what did they say to you? Nothing. It was silent in our house except for my voice, which you are probably used to right now, for a long, long time. I mean, minutes had passed. So then we noticed I'm going to each one of them. Michelle's just sitting there. I mean, she's great at being patient. Larry's great at being patient. I'm the only one freaking out like, okay, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Y'all, it's 8 now. We have a long day ahead of us if no one's talking. No one's moving. One thing we chose to do, it was a school day. So as Nicholas shared with you, he was in school. So our boys were in school. We were only here with the boys, kids alone. Nichelle came in to help. And I mean, at that time, we had to make a decision. Are we going to sit here all day? They weren't going to go to school because they didn't know us. How could we go drop them off at school? And they didn't even know the people they were going to live with.
Right.
So our decision was to keep them here that first day, get them acclimated with us, talk to them, get prepared for school, buy school, clothes, make sure everybody had what they needed, and then introduce them to the school in the community. Well, they weren't talking, and they didn't talk for a while. After we continued to talk to them, and I, tried the silence, it didn't work. I was tired of being quiet. I started talking again. One thing I noticed that the boys, 2 of them looked towards the oldest one.
Right, that's what I was
And once he nodded, they
Then
spoke.
responded.
That's right.
Yep. That's true.
You all, I've never seen that before. The only question on the table was, do you want water? Do you want something to drink? Do you want juice? I know it's a lot of questions, but it all meant the same thing. What do you want is what we needed to know. And do you want this? And I'm holding up all kinds of things. And no one responded until their baby nodded. And when he nodded, then they said, yes. And we were able to break that ice at that point.
Yes.
But it goes down to recognize who's in the room. It was 3 of them. They had an older brother. We had to ask him the question, and he had to give permission to his siblings to speak. It's not going to always be like that. It wasn't anything like that with the last 4. They came in. It was off the chain. They came
were bouncing
in
all
ready,
over the place.
ready. What else can I do? They
Right.
were climbing walls. They were doing everything.
Right.
But every child is different. So with that, I mean, we had to make some adjustments. We had to really we knew what to do, but those things that we knew to do in a classroom, knew to do in a school, did with our family members, it just didn't work.
Right. And like you said, just the fact we had to wait till the oldest one speak. So it gave us an opportunity to try to talk to the oldest one. The oldest one said, okay. But again, it still go back to where you're meeting a child where they are. And yes, you can have strategies and everything, and that goes out the window. I mean, that's
Quickly.
good.
Right.
You can have this, have that. But the main thing is that you have to have patience and sit there and watch.
Right.
And just wait. And so by us waiting and observing, we noticed that once we talked to the oldest one, he gave the initiative to say, okay,
Right.
then we were able to interact even more.
Right.
And like you said, those, strategies we have, yes, they might go out the window, but we have to keep the window open because you're going to need those strategies. You're going to start pulling those strategies back out, because fostering is an emotional roller coaster.
Yes.
It doesn't stop when you adopt. It's an emotional roller coaster. So, Nichelle, think back to those days that were up and those days that were down, okay? And I have a couple questions to ask you about it. You ready? Okay. How
I'm
did
ready.
you support me as your sister? I'm going to just go with me right now. With us being, my sister and I are 3 years apart. She's the oldest. We're very, very close, but she's the oldest. And so, we kind of feel each other emotions and heartbreak as well. So with that, how did you support me during those hard moments? I mean, kind of speak to what type of hard moment was it that you saw me really struggling, or you just were like, oh, this is too much for my sister. What's going on? And what did you do to try to alleviate some of that off of me or, pull it off me or kind of just help the situation?
Well, from being your sister, I know you.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times you can't just go in and pull it off because she's not that type of person.
Nope.
So,
babe.
you have to wait. You have to time it just right. And you're making it sound like it's her decision, but yet and still it's really your decision.
Oh, secrets.
To jump in and to help.
Jedi mind trick.
Yeah, and with girls are different. Like I said, we're boy moms. So, okay, all boys, they're easy in this and that. Girls have different hormones and stuff. So, when I felt as though that everything was coming on her, first of all, I looked at her husband, looked at Larry. He's like, okay. So, he'll give me the initial okay. And then I'll go through it, and then maybe I'll just take the kids. Again, I'm the to-go person where we playing, laughing, and play.
That's true.
So my thing is outside, go to the park. We can go and go to the store. Either they all come to my house. Then that's the biggest break.
Right.
So
yes, respite away from you, away from your
respite.
home at the moment.
And so that was my key of totally getting them out of the house, because sometimes everybody's here still, the person don't get rest.
Right.
So being able to come and get them out the house was the biggest.
Right.
Yeah.
Me really realizing one point up and down, you have different things that happen. So it's not one particular thing, because with 7 kids, it's always something. Really 10. So it's always something that's going on.
Right.
So my biggest thing is that, hey, I'm coming to pick y'all up. Half the time, I don't even come in the house. I'm outside, say, okay, y'all get y'all stuff, let's go. And they say, oh, we're going to Amy's house. I'm ready.
Right.
So that was an easy go. I was
Right.
taking them somewhere else.
Okay, was there ever a time that you felt that, ooh, maybe she's over her head? Maybe this is way too much.
We'll say that.
Remember, you had more kids, so you was always over your head. way too much.
That was a normal thing.
I only had 2.
Oh,
Right,
wow.
but
I
any-
have 4 bonus kids, but still.
Right, but any incident or something that you recall that, I love my family, y'all, and our supporters. Y'all see how much they support us,
Right.
but any, without
wasn't-
calling any names, anything that occurred that you said, you know what, hold up, this is a lot.
Only with one of them, just really things that would go up and down. And it's like when...
Was that tantrums? Was that screaming, yelling?
With
fighting?
tantrums.
Tantrums. Okay.
Well, again, 7 kids, you got everything. Screaming, biting, tantrums, everything.
Yeah.
But sometimes the kids and stuff will have more tantrums and stuff coming in. And then you do the strategy thing, send them out town, whatever. I'll call Nikki and say, girl, I can't talk right now. Yada, yada, yada. So it's like one particular time, it's like the baby kept having tantrums after tantrums. And so the mood wasn't right. I mean, the parents were at their wits' end, the kids were at their wits' end. So it's like, okay, any mode. I kept hearing it over the phone, heard it over the phone. Like, okay. When I come in, I set the room, got the baby sitting down. You need to sit down, think about what you're doing for a minute. And then I'm over here taking a deep breath. That's Nikki. I said, okay, go get your stuff. I know that they're in trouble right now, but they finna come with me.
So no more time
No more
in,
time
sitting
in.
in front of me.
No,
I'm
no.
staring at them.
not
They're
right
staring at
now.
me.
Yeah, y'all staring at each other. No,
Nah,
no more.
none of that.
It's going to be an Annie roll. Annie, go get your stuff, and let's quickly leave out the house.
Right.
And so that's time with that, mainly with tantrums and stuff, not too many things, but it's part of growing up.
Right.
That's true.
Right. And it's also, we had to learn that child.
Right.
We had to
Yes.
learn, okay, what that disorder was. We had to identify, because when the children came to us, they came with some diagnosis, but a lot wasn't exposed because of their
Right.
ages.
Right.
Yeah.
So as they continued to be here more time, and more counselors came in, more therapists came in, they started school, we started getting a whole lot of woes in the
Yes.
house. Like, what is going on? And the children felt it too, because they're like, whoa, this is too, overstimulating for me. What's
Right.
going
Yeah.
on?
That's true.
So we had a lot of different things that they had to learn themselves. We had to learn them, and they had to then together learn coping skills.
And we had to learn limits.
Yeah.
We had
Oh,
to learn.
yes.
We had to learn the limits of parenting.
Yes,
And they
yes.
had to learn the limits of, you know what? I think I've done enough, because after this, it's going to go real bad for me. From the child's perspective. So
Which is self-regulation.
yeah, self-regulation ultimately. Yeah.
So they had to learn self-regulation. We had a lot of stimming going on in our home. Children trying to figure out, okay, what do I supposed to do in this, when I'm feeling like this.
Right.
So we had a lot, when you have 2 and 3 children stimming, and, stimming is just simply when they're trying to cope, but they can't. It might be a tick. It might be, a lot of noises. It might be just a
laughter.
repetitive, a laughter. Oh, that was huge.
That was huge.
That was so huge.
Yep.
Our children, in the midst of correction, redirection, and a tantrum, you would just hear, ah! What?
Right.
What was that? I mean, and one thing would trigger another thing. So we had a lot of domino effects
Yep.
going on, So you were good, Michelle, at being able to read that room and say, okay, maybe this is a good time for this, or maybe it's not. And I recall many times you would withdraw one child and go just spend time with them one-on-one. It might have been in their room, outside, on the porch. And maybe just, okay, let's just go away. It's not that we're rewarding. And that's where, as foster parents and adoptive parents, we had to realize, just because you take a child out for ice cream doesn't mean that you're rewarding
their
them.
behavior. Yeah.
And that was kind of hard to figure out on the outside of this type of space that we're in with fostering and adoption. Because initially you're like, oh, I don't want to do that, because they'll think that I'm rewarding them for their behavior.
Right.
No, that was sometimes I remember one child and I, we went to Dairy Queen and we sat down and didn't eat or drink anything. We just sat on the outside of it because we needed to talk. And then after talking and getting it out, discussing different things, then, the attempt was to go in and get something, but it never happened because that was their opportunity to really let it out. So we were able to let it out, discuss it. It took a very long time. And then on the way out, do you want this? No. And then we ended up just leaving. Dairy Queen didn't say anything. We were on the outside. We didn't take anything from them. But we did add a lot to our relationship and our timing during that time. So you have to make sure that you kind of pace what's going on and assess it before you can address it.
Right.
Oh, I think I said something. Y'all like that?
Yep.
Assess it before you address
address
it. You can put that down. I think that's good.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And then the other thing is being a supporter. Also, our parents in the group that we're supporting have to understand their supporter. And as a fact of understanding things, it's just a fact. Nikki and Larry understood the type of person I was and the support that I can give them, but also they let me be able to be that support.
There you go.
And that's important too, because us as being supported, you got to know your supporters. And it's not a fact of they're coming in to define anything that you're setting. It's just a fact they're coming in to give you a break.
Right.
Right.
And it's not going against anything they're saying. They're saying, okay, the kid can't do this, this, and this, and this. Okay, that's fine. Then it'll take place at your house. But then when you go into that supporter house, it doesn't have to take place.
And not in trouble over there.
And that was my problem. That's
Yeah,
what I
that
had to learn.
was-
That
she
was
was
my
like,
problem.
no, the punishment
They
does
don't
not go
punish
with
me
them.
everywhere. You don't take them anywhere. They can't watch TV at your house.
Right. Yeah,
But
let's-
it also helped that child too, because they understood. It's like, okay, they're really going to support me, but they really listen to me if I'm in trouble too, because they have a voice.
That's
Right.
true. Yeah, and realistically speaking, they need to hear a voice other than the parent's voice.
Yeah.
I mean, because me, the lecturer, they get tired of hearing, my voice telling them the same thing over and over and over, because I am consistent, if nothing else.
Right. And repetitive.
That's right.
Right.
Consistent is the word, not repetitive.
Oh,
Consistent.
I'm sorry. Yes.
It's definitely consistent.
Yes. They usually say it lasts about 30, 45 minutes.
Hey, I've gotten better now.
And lecturing doesn't always help. We had to realize that too, because not only do you lecture, I will lecture. We just lecture in different ways.
Correct.
So I think I'm better at it. But it's not productive. Because honestly, you all, when you start the lecture, they're going to only listen for the first minute. And then they're in their head saying, it's the same thing I've already heard before.
Right, exactly.
Even though it's the same thing they're still doing and they need to hear it again, apparently, because they didn't understand it.
Yep.
They still tune you off. So you have to come up with another way to get to them. One thing that I know as parents, we had to learn, Larry, you can talk about this. This is going to be more for you. Was it easy allowing someone else to come in and assist and help?
Actually, yes, because even in a coaching perspective, sometimes you need to hear things from another coach. Sometimes. So in this situation, it was, when Amy said it, it was gold because there was no pressure applied to it.
Like I've never said it before, right?
Right, of course. But because they were going over there, hanging out, chilling out, relax, as versus being restricted with being at home under restriction and going over there. And then when she said, "Hey, what about this, that, and other?" You know what? That's a good idea. And we're like, yeah.
We've already said that.
Yes.
But one thing I do want to clarify that I don't want misunderstood through this conversation is now if our children were on punishment and Annie came and she took them, it's not like they went over there and had a party.
Yes.
Okay? So I don't want you to think that we're saying, oh, okay, your supporter needs to come in and just save your child from a punishment.
No, that's not.
That was not. It just, once the tantrum came and that child was actually trying to de-escalate, that assistance helped because they might just went for a walk. They might just went for a drive. They probably went to her house to pick something up. It wasn't that they were leaving one situation that was more strict at that moment or restrictive to go to a party. That's not going to help the child at all because what's going to happen, the child going to come right back and expect a party. And every time you try to discipline them, they're going to say, well, let me call my auntie.
Right, exactly.
We've never had that situation occur to let me call my auntie to get out of a situation. They call their auntie because they want her support.
Right.
So please don't misunderstand, but also allow them to come in, and sometimes Michelle will just sit with them in their own house until they calm down. And then she was able to take them away at that time, giving us a moment to debrief and that child a moment to debrief. Because one thing we don't want to do is punish you now after the punishment.
Right.
And that's something as parents, we did with our children, we did.
Not me.
Foster, we just had to learn because as a parent, we still not over it. The child have moved on and we're still saying, no, they did.
Oh, yeah.
Did you hear what they said when they were upset?
Oh,
did you hear what he said in that tantrum? So I'm not their mom, but let me show them I'm not their mom. No, it's not to be vindictive. And we said that many different times. It's not to punish them. It's actually to disciple them and show them which way they should be going versus the way that they chose at that moment. So I wanted to make sure that we clarified that. Okay, Shell, so kind of summing it up and wrapping this up because we do try to keep it where we give you some good information, give you a couple of nuggets to at least make you feel that, first of all, you're not in this alone, to let you know you're not in this alone. Or just to say, you know what, maybe you can do it this way or it worked for us. What worked for one child won't work for all. And we will say all the time, what worked on Monday
would not work on Tuesday.
There you go. And it doesn't mean that Monday was all for nothing. It was in vain. It was just Monday.
Right.
Okay. Right. So looking back, Michelle, what's one thing that you wish more people understood about supporting fostering families? And you can just talk straight to our audience. What are some things that you would like for them to know, and you wish they understood just about supporting us?
Just showing up. That's important to me.
Right.
Just to show up and to listen. Mm-hmm. It's not where you coming in and taking over or anything like that. But support means showing up. And it's not, they have to call your time, just show up. I can't say that enough. Because that's exactly what I mean, show up. So you show up for the parents and you show up for the child.
Right, and this is gonna sound rude, but Larry, you'll remember because it hurt my feelings. If you, it hurt my feelings when it happened, but it's such a true statement. I had a principal, and Michelle, you probably recall me because I cried to my mama and daddy about it too. But when I had a principal when I was an assistant principal, one of my first years of being an assistant principal, and I had this great idea to solve high school cafeteria time. All the children just walking the halls or, are skipping during that time, being tardy. So I had a great idea as assistant principal. I'm going to solve this. I wrote a 2-page letter to my principal. I typed it out. It was perfect grammar. It had all the strategies in it, and I submitted it to my principal, and he called me in, and I just knew this was my moment to take over this time period and make it better. I was the only female, and I'm going to do this thing. He asked me to sit down. And he said, "What is your role? And I was like, "Huh? Oh, I'm over cafeteria and I'm over the special ed department." He said, "No, what is your title?" And I said, "Assistant principal." And he said, "And what are you supposed to do?" So I started going through my duties. He said, "I need to simply know, what is my title?" I said, "Principal." He said, "What is yours?" I said, "Assistant principal." He said, "So what is your role?" I couldn't get it, y'all, because I'm smart. And I just gave him a 2-page letter of everything I wanted to do. And we weren't discussing that, but I wanted to. He said, "Your role is to assist the principal. You are assistant principal." I said, "Okay, so can we do this?" He said, "I need you to go do that." Y'all, he dismissed me. He literally dismissed me. And it stuck with me for so long. I was so hurt. I literally went back to my office and called my mom and dad and cried. I called Larry. I cried. But the whole point to that, when I became a principal, and right a little bit before that, that's why I was promoted to a principal, I understood roles. Mm-hmm. My role was to assist him. Yes, I could give you some ideas when asked and when appropriate, but I didn't read the room as Dad told me first. Mm-hmm. I went in with a plan to be better, to make things better at that point before I assessed what was going on. Right. So I love that you said, as a supporter, your role is to support what we're doing. Right. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if they're on punishment, it's to support them and help them through that punishment and to better understand. But first of all, to be there and support them. So sometimes it looks like sitting. Sometimes it looks like cleaning up. Sometimes it looks like wiping tears. Sometimes it looked like just holding the baby while we dealt with the older children.
Many
times you did that.
Mm-hmm.
And just shaking them to keep them calm, or taking them in another room so we can have a conversation with another child. Right. Or sometimes it's holding our hand and taking us for a walk.
I know, right?
So that support is needed, however, but we had to communicate. Mm-hmm. Like you said, you knew me, but I had to let you know what was going on as well, and to make sure that what you were reading was what you read. And many times on your way over here, I'm on the phone letting you know what was going on. But like you said, once you got here, it might be in a totally different state at that point.
Right.
So
another thing that's really important with the support is to be willing as a foster parent, to be willing to allow them to come in and observe from outside of the situation. And, especially if you really trust them, allow them to do what's needed so that the situation is best for everyone.
Okay. And let me just say this.
Yes, please.
Being supportive, it's not always knowing the whole picture either. Because if we're supporting, we don't have to know everything. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
We have to be able to just come in and, again, read the room.
There you go.
Right. So to just wrap up, Nichelle, what has this journey meant to you personally?
Oh, well, I'm super anny.
Yes, you are.
But I also I'm able to see the children that we had at such a young age grow up to be thriving young adults, teenagers that actually believe that the world is theirs.
Right.
Okay. They have no limitations. They have the support that they need, and they're able to be successful in anything that they try to do.
Hey, that's good.
You can't beat that.
You can't beat it. I guess that's a wrap, huh, babe?
There you go.
That's good. So just allowing them to be who they are and showing them that the world is full of possibilities. Yes. They can do it. Yep. But let us support them together as a unit. Build your village, you all. Build your village so your child can thrive. Thank you, Nichelle, for being here.
Hey, you're
Hey,
welcome.
Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you all. Thank you all once again for tuning in. It was so great to hear Nichelle's side of the story. And I just want to encourage you, pray about who should be in your village. Who should you be calling on to support you during this journey? You have Nichelle's in your life. You have children in your life. Maybe it be a bow child or even just your godchild. Maybe it's your nephew, your aunt, your niece. Just remember, you don't have to do this alone. God didn't intend for us to do anything alone. He put people in our lives for a reason. So pray about who. And I guarantee you, he will open that door and they'll come in and help out. So I couldn't do it alone. Larry couldn't do it alone.
Nope.
So you are not alone. We're also here for you. Right, babe?
That's right.
All right.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to our Foster and Adoption podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment. We love to hear from you.
Bye. Thank you all.
Bye.